I'm here with the documentary filmmaker of this year's documentary film at our festival, the Women's Worlds Festival, called Seyran Ateş, Sex, Revolution, Islam. It's Nefise Özkal Lorentzen, and she is with me now, and we are talking about her very important documentary film about the person, Seyran Ateş, but not only about the person, but also about the topic, Islam, sex, revolution. So once again, welcome, Nefise.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for inviting me to your festival. I have seen your festival online, and you have wonderful films, and it is really an honor to be one part of these wonderful films.
Yes, and we are very happy and very lucky also to have you, and this very important, significant documentary about the person Seyran Ateş. So, Nefise, you have a long cinematography history already. You made a lot of films about Islam already. You made a trilogy with 3 films starting after 9/11. And tell me maybe a bit about those 3 films, and then how you came up with the idea to make a film about Seyran Ateş or female Islam imams. Yes, just the background for the movie.
Sure. I can say that actually my turning point was 9/11. Just after 9/11, I was actually kind of thinking like, shall I stay in this faith, or do I belong to Islam? So I had so many questions, but I decided to kind of go into this concept, what is Islam, what is gender, and I started to make a film about Islam and homosexuality, because at that time I had many friends, many gay friends, and they wanted to stay in their faith, even though their communities, they didn't want to have them. So it was like very fascinating for me, because I didn't want to stay in that faith, but they did, kind of. So then I made this film 2008 about Islam and homosexuality. And then 2011, I made another film, which is called A Balloon for Allah. It's about Islam and feminism. And 2014, I made a film called Man-Islam. It's about Islam and masculinity. So they are one part of Islam and gender trilogy. And I have I have been thinking like, okay, what's my next project? And I thought maybe I'm not going to work about Islam and do some other things. But I heard about the female imams in China, and I was very fascinated about their mosque, and I was very curious, like, because they have existed like many hundred years. So then I contacted to female imams in different parts of the world, in the States, in Denmark, in many other places. There are not so many, but so I started to work on this project about female imams around like 2014, and I didn't know anything about Seyran at that time, and she didn't have the mosque actually. But one day my mother gave me an article about Seyran Ateş, and so I read it, and I was so fascinated, because it was exactly like my dream. I was sending balloons to Allah and saying that we need to have some, at the time I didn't call revolution. We need some place that we can be all together, like men and women and everyone. It's like all-inclusive place. So, and that's, yeah, Seyran had it. And I traveled immediately to Berlin and met Seyran and filmed her congregation. And what was very fascinating for me to see her leadership, and how she was leading her congregation. So at that time I had to make a decision. Either I was going to make a film about, female imams in general, or I was going to make a film about a person, a protagonist, and then, go through her voyage. Then I decided the last one. I traveled together with Seyran in various countries. It was Germany and Spain and Norway and China. So I, in a way, know more about Seyran as person. And I think we have so many cross sections, and one of the cross sections, I think, our mothers, the way we not only, everybody loves their mothers in their own way, but the way we approach to mothers, the way we get interaction, love, and communication with the mothers. So it was also very important for me to have her mother in the film. And actually, I should admit that it was more important that her mother will love the film. Of course, it's very important that Seyran approves the film, but her mother really approved the film, and she get really emotional. And so this communication was actually very, very important for me.
Yes, that's very interesting, because so you had an idea about making a movie about female imams, and then you came across Seyran Ateş, and you developed all those similarities and same ideas also you share. Mm-hmm. And then you said, okay, it's maybe I do just a portrait mm-hmm. about this very impressing and intelligent, but also loving, inclusive woman, revolutionary also in a way, opening a mosque for everybody, mm-hmm. for men, women, preaching together, also people from the LGBTQ community. Mm-hmm. That's really revolutionary in a way, and she's having that mosque now in Berlin. Since I think 2019. 17. Yeah. Mm-hmm. 17, yes. And then, but that's not the only similarity I developed when I read about you also as a filmmaker, because you are you have a clear vision of also what needs, what religion or the Islam needs, which is gender equality, sexual equality, and that's, you share that idea with Seyran, and also you experienced how it is when your work and your political work also, it's always political, you are no longer allowed, for example, to travel to Turkey after you launched a film about Erdogan. Tell me a little bit about this and the experience you have, what it makes with you as a person, if you feel maybe a little bit frightened also, and so on.
With my producer and my partner, Seyran Lorentzen, I directed a film together with him. The film is called A Gift from God. So the film is about the coup attempt in Turkey. Yes, after this film, so we have some difficulties in traveling back to Turkey because we have asked a critical question about President Erdogan's way of designing Turkey, actually. So as an artist, I consider myself as an artist than a political activist. I mean, my activism is through my art. Mm-hmm. So I have to just make that definition, because so as an artist, so I couldn't just not to if I have some questions in my mind, I have to just find out. I have to tell it. I have an urge to tell it. So in this film, it's more political, actually, comparing to my other films. So it is, it costs a lot.
Yes.
And it
Yes.
costs that I cannot travel back to the country freely. And but the other thing is just like I don't regret, and I don't feel fear for some reason, because I think when you ask questions in a way fearlessly, and you create so many platforms for other people's. So, you know, these platforms that our films have created, it also gives me some kind of an empowerment. So I don't regret it, and I don't have any fear about it. So and I have in a way my faith, and I think like life is so wonderful, and so there is no reason to have some fears, because if I have fear, I cannot ask questions. That's what happens. I mean, many people that I talk, many of my friends in Turkey, they do have fear, of course. So when you have fear, so you can't ask questions. Right now, I don't live in Turkey, and maybe this also gives me a platform that I can ask some questions. But my what can I say? My love is Turkey. I mean, I love my country, and I am so grateful that I was grown up with the Turkish culture, and I was grown up in Turkey. So so my gratitude is always there, but so we will see what will happen.
Of course, that's no contradiction. It's not contradictionary. You of course you love your country, you love Turkey, of course you do, but that also allows you to ask questions, important questions. That's exactly what we also think, and what also Seyran Ateş is doing her entire life, since she was 17, when she decided to study law, when she became a lawyer, when she became a human rights activist, when she became a female imam, and opened her mosque to everybody. And she is not afraid, even though she is very much threatened. She is highly protected by the police every day. So, but she's not, that's not keeping her from what she thinks is important, which is then the revolution of Islam. Let's call it this way, right? And you also said that it's not, or Seyran Ateş also thinks that it's not only the conservative right-wing people being against female gender equality in Islam. It's also intellectual left-wing people saying, no, we don't have to, we don't dare saying anything about it, and we don't want to. So, which is also not helpful for the topic itself, which is the revolution of religion for equality. Also there, not only in society, there is some societies are more open than others, but also in the religion. Seyran Ateş says we need that very urgently. Do you think that that this will be, it's just the beginning, and that one day in your dream, in your hopes, every mosque will be like that people can come no matter what sex, what gender, what sexual orientation they have, that it's just accepted, and not only tolerance, but accepted, and for everybody. Do you think this is possible?
Absolutely. And I think like it is very important to know that we are living in 2021 and we will keep going this way, not this way. So in other words, like people would like to be together with their beloveds, their children, their partners, their friends, when they are having their spiritual experience. So why should women be in a room with many other women and only kids crying, and in a very, you know, far beyond the dirtiest and the smallest place that you will do some kind of a spiritual connection to your God? Why do men will be always sitting together in the best places and the bigger rooms? I mean, I don't think that, you know, when you have this kind of consciousness as a man and you don't feel, I think, happy, but you have to have this consciousness. So I think when we talk about gender revolution or sexual revolution in any kind of societies, any kind of religious beliefs. So I think the revolution does not only start with guns, which I never think like revolution is, I mean, usually like, you know, whenever you want to, in a way, design or draw something about revolution, so it's just like the guns and, you know, all this stuff. But for me, the revolution, the sexual and gender revolution within Islam, it starts with consciousness. The moment that we give consciousness to men and women, and they will really look at themselves, they will really find out, what do I have, what the others don't? So, I mean, this question is very important. So I think in this gender revolution path, we have to give consciousness to men, that they will see themselves. They will just see what they have, what the women don't have. I mean, I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm an optimist in a way, and I really, maybe I'm not naive, but I mean, I really feel like people would like to share. People would like to share their goods. So, but if they don't have consciousness, they don't know that they have more than the others. So this is how the revolution starts, to make people see themselves and their possibilities. So
I think so too. Yeah, the consciousness and the education about looking around and seeing things, and maybe also just. We need the men, I think, for this revolution. We cannot do it ourselves. Only women cannot.
I think women can do many things alone.
Me too.
Yeah, but the thing is, just if we want to create a society which is ready for gender revolution and sexual revolution, we have to give consciousness to men. So we have to teach men. Yes. They will see their lives, and they will see their spiritual connection, and they will see their excess. I mean, the moment that you really understand your excess, and then you can see that because of my excessive possessiveness, many people don't have it. So then you can start. But I think men, I don't mean all men, men in general, they are not trained to see themselves in the mirror. So I think this is how the revolution starts, mirroring, you know.
Yes, it starts in the family. It starts
in the family. It starts actually with the mothers, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again, it always comes back to the mothers. It always does.
Yeah. And it starts with the mothers, because the mothers are also sometimes gatekeepers, actually, for the girls. I mean, so we have to give consciousness to both mothers and fathers to see the inequality in their small I mean, the family is an also institution, and the family is the most beautiful and most dangerous institution in the world, because it is beautiful, it creates love, it creates protection, it creates identity, it creates belonging. The reason it is so dangerous because it is in the four walls, and you can easily hide what's happening in the family. So I think when we have this consciousness in the family that mothers or fathers or the parents in general, they have a responsibility to create this consciousness, and then we can really start. And then it is just like 50% of the revolution is actually done.
Exactly. I think also Seyran Ateş had in the family the nephew, when she when she heard that he was on a very radical, he followed radical ideas, and it was also then in the family, and I think she also had a big impact in order to give him to show him another perspective, another.
Absolutely.
And also, and now he's going to her mosque. He's also preaching there. He's I think working there. Mm-hmm. So you can easily, also, even if something has been not really gone into the right direction, I would say right is not right, but in a dangerous direction maybe, also because young people are very fragile. They don't know who they are. They don't know what they are here for. And mm-hmm. I think this is also an important work about Seyran Ateş and her mosque, to give those also young men, mostly I think, a room where they can be where they are. They can be gay, they can be this, they can be that, and it's okay. Nobody is judging them. And I think we need more rooms mm-hmm. for people who don't dare saying what their sexual orientation is, or things like that. So that also shows the movie, I think, in a very impressive way what is already achieved. I mean, it's still all in the beginning. It's still revolutionary. It's not common sense still, but it will be one day, hopefully. But you can also see little results. What it's and I think this is that makes your film, your documentary, also very. It leaves you with a good feeling. It's positive. It's with hope you come out of your documentary, and this is really what I found very impressive also, because it's not easy. It's a daily, everyday struggle for.
Absolutely, and thank you for saying that, because I think whenever we think about like hope, love, freedom, and all these, the images, it's like, oh, there is hope. I mean, there is not hope. We create hope. Mm-hmm. So it's just like, if we are waiting for hope, it's like Godot, it never comes. But if you think like the hope is something in us, and we can create together, and it's a process. And so I'm happy that you see the process of hope in the film, because it is a process. And the moment that we all are waiting for hope, then we don't again see our creativity, because hope comes through our creativity. Yes. And I really believe Seyran's political work is not only like a political work, it is her creative work, and she's following her dreams, she's following her creativity, and she is really trying to give new platforms to both men and women and young generations. And I really feel her work is very sincere, because she is following her dreams. And of course, the voyage that Tugay, Seyran's nephew, has had is incredible. And I'm so happy that he's very open and he's talking very openly about his voyage. And I think he will, and his story will also create new platforms for other young people who are trying to, find their identities and who are trying to find hope, that they can see that hope is in you. You have to just, again, look at the mirror.
Exactly. And thanks to your documentary, a lot of people will see maybe that they are not alone, that there's other people having the same struggles, the same questions, and that it's not easy, but it's never too late to...
Yes, never too late.
Yeah, exactly. So, Nefise, I've heard about your next project, which is about death and death conscious. Tell me a little bit about it and about the idea behind it and how it started.
Sure. My next project is about death consciousness, and I would like to bring the fragility of life. So it is not a documentary, it is not a fiction, it's kind of in between. So this is like I'm working on it. But I think it's also very interesting when you think about death and death consciousness. There is also something in Islamic world which I try to understand about the concept of paradise. So many, let's say, suicide bombers, they have this, martyr and concept of paradise. And then, the young men, they think about when they die for Islam and they will be in paradise. And then there they will meet all these, young women and everything. So I think the new leader like Seyran, and that's what I'm expecting, that we will really talk about what this paradise is. I mean, when you go to the paradise, why should I meet all these women? I'm not interested to meet women. I mean, when I go to paradise, I want to see more films. So this is my paradise. So I think when Seyran is talking about sexual revolution in Islam, it is also related to, to define your dreams, why your dreams in paradise is sexual, So I think the death consciousness, paradise, and the dream about paradise is, for me, is related to going into yourself and going into yourself and finding your paradise, and not dreaming about the paradise which is kind of calculated and set and the images are there. So these type of things, like I'm kind of thinking about, and I hope one day a leader, a religious leader, a theologian, or I don't know, the one who has authority, will also discuss about what this paradise is in Islam. I mean, for me, it sounds very absurd that you die and then you go to the paradise and then meet these, many women there. So what am I going to do with them? I want to have a ticket. I want to have your festival.
Yes.
In the paradise. I want to see lots of films. I want to have lots of poetry. I want to meet all the philosophers. I want to swim. I want to do jogging. So I want to have lots of discussions. So I mean, this is the paradise that I'm thinking. So
that sounds amazing. That sounds really. Yeah,
but we can wait, but we can, in a way, do some kind of constructions.
Yes, it always starts with an idea and maybe with a film.
Yes, but there should be film festivals in the paradise. Otherwise, I'm not going there.
Me too. That's very, very, very nice. imagination of paradise, and a much more elaborated one, and sounds more interesting
than just meeting kind of a naked 17 woman or 71. I don't know how many, but I mean, what should I do with them if you cannot? I mean, if they promise me that we will discuss about films and poetry and life and expectation and hope, they might be interesting.
Yes,
we will ask.
Yes, we will. And maybe you will be on our next year's festival edition also with your new movie. Who knows?
I hope so, inshallah.
So
thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
And again, thank you for your impressive and really important also film you gave us. And we are very proud to have it and to show it to the audience. And we will be very happy if ever you could come to Berlin and
Thank
be
you
there
very much.
with us.